Hello, welcome to Fifth House Divination. My name's Kirsty. Today I'm doing a flip through of the Crystal Visions Tarot deck by Jennifergalasso. Sorry Jennifer if I've said that wrong. Printed by US Game System. I'm calling it a flip through rather than an unboxing because this is a deck that I've had for a while. I do use it a fair bit on the channel. I use it generally for my love readings. So it's yeah, it's fairly well used. I think I definitely need to get a pouch for it. It's got a really lovely energy to it. That's the Wheel of Fortune on the back. That's so cool. But it's quite a sort of a light, airy energy. So for me, it sort of suits the love readings I do. I also use it for the yes/no readings because it's got this extra card in it. And this extra card, the Unknown card, it's Major Arcana. And in the little booklet that came with the box that I've long since lost, this card sits in between the Fool card and in between the World card and the Fool card. So it's that period of between closing out one cycle and starting another. It's that period of unknown and undecided movement forward. So that is an extra card. That's why I use the yes/no readings. I do a spread that when I found it was one of Barbara Moore's spreads, and she uses the Wheel of Fortune as the indicator for the yes/no. But when I got this deck, I thought, well, that's a really good idea to use this because that then gives you the 78 cards for, everything else. So anyway, so we'll do a flip through. It's the stock on it's quite nice. So the game system, I tend to use the US Games Systems decks and the Low Scarabeo. The Low Scarabeo do tend to be a little bit thinner than the US Game System stock. But as I said, these have had a fair old bit of use. They're pretty sort of sturdy. I have managed to get a bit of a crinkle in one of the cards. But I'll show you that when we come to it. So anyway, well, I'll shut up and I'll just sort of start flipping through now. So, so the back's this pretty crystal. There's a lot of sort of purple hues in the deck. It's a sort of a purpley, bluey background palette. So Fool, Magician, High Priestess, Empress. There's a lot of butterflies in this deck, and crystals, obviously. Emperor. Hierophant. Lovers. Chariot. Strength card. I love the lions and the tigers in this deck. They're like teddy bears. They're really cute. Hermit. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. Hanged Man. Death card. That's something. Temperance. This is the card that's got a crease in it. It's the Devil. No matter what I've done, I don't know if you can see it, but no matter what I've done with it, I can't seem to get it out. So it's well and truly kind of, oh yeah, there it is. But at least I can see the Devil coming. I think I must have bent it. There's a slight bend in it there, and it's but yeah, it's been like that for a while now. It's not split or anything, so that's good. So that's the Devil card, complete with audience in the background. The Tower, Star card. I love this Moon card. This, for me, always sort of feels as if she's kind of been through that process of moving forward, and she's befriended both of them now. So, yeah, it's a happy Moon card, if there is such a thing. Sun. Judgment. Ace of Wands. I've never noticed that before in his tail. I love this Eight of Wands. I think this is possibly one of my favourite Eight of Wands. It's a herd of galloping unicorns. I guess if anything quicker than a herd of galloping horses would be unicorns. It's so, I can really feel the energy coming off this card when I'm sort of looking at it. You can really feel the sort of the stampede. Nine of Wands. And the 10. Look at this poor little donkey. Bless him. Page. Knight. Queen of Wands. Look at that beautiful cat with her. And the King. Lion's got a right old smile on his face. Swords. I think one of my other favourite cards in this deck, there's a beautiful Six of Cups, which I think is probably my favourite Six of Cups. It's really beautiful. Nothing worse than being a unitey in the snow. So that was interesting. There's no boat with this one. She's on foot. This is really just kind of walking away, isn't it? 7. Now, interestingly, on this one, she's actually managing to sleep because she's got the Ace of Swords. I must admit, in this deck, the artwork, there are some things that when I see it, it's like it would change. Using this deck specifically, it would sort of change how I kind of see or interpret the energy. So with this, she's actually managing to sleep. Normally the Nine of Swords is they're awake and they're sat at the end of the bed. 10 of Swords. But there's a few cards in this deck that have really sort of opened up the interpretation of that energy and kind of flip it on its head. That when I see that card in particular, it's like, oh, that's why I was drawn to use this deck for this particular reading. So that's quite interesting. Page of Swords. Look at him. Is that a unicorn he's on? Pegasus. Queen of Swords would all have butterflies. Knight of King of Swords. Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. I've got a little fairy thing in the background. Three of Cups. It's got a really lovely sort of I guess the deck's got quite a young, innocent feel to it, the energy in it. Which is probably why I use it for the love readings. But yeah, it's quite light and feels quite young. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. Six of Cups. So this card, as I say, I think this is my favourite Six of Cups in all of the decks that I've got. This is just, look, that's her. This to me sort of really sort of speaks to kind of taking care of your inner child. Or it's a real nod to the inner child. It's so gorgeous. It's almost like they're kind of high-fiving each other. Beautiful. Seven of Cups. Eight. It's a knight of, I knew there was a knight on a unicorn somewhere. Yeah, here he is. Yeah, Mr. Grounded himself. Oh dear, so lovely. It's really cool. Queen of Cups. King. Pentacles. She's on her tiptoes, look. That's great. Four of Pentacles, that, look at him. Five. I quite like this Eight of Pentacles. It's a pretty Eight of Pentacles. Normally it's some guy sweating away in a workshop somewhere. This is quite feminine. It's quite pretty way of showing craft, and yeah, speaks very much to Virgo. This card for me. Look at this. Now, I love this Nine of Pentacles. It's so cool. Proper stripy tiger. And a peacock as well. Beautiful. Ten of Pentacles. She's got all kinds of wildlife around her and a castle in the background. Page, Knight, Queen, and last but not least, the King of Pentacles. So guys, that was it. So it's got really lovely sort of light and fluffy energy to it. I use it quite a lot. I find this unknown card particularly useful. And it's quite cool when it turns up in a reading. So there we go. Hope this is useful for you. If you like the video, please do like it. Subscribe. As I say, with the decks, I mean, these are just my own personal decks. I just do sort of record them really just to for your information, just so you can have a look. And decks are an investment, so it's always nice to know if we think we can connect with the energies of the deck before we invest in them. So happy hunting and enjoy your journey. Cheers guys, bye bye.